All right, Raiders Nation, buckle up because today we've got some major updates and a lot to unpack regarding the state of the Las Vegas Raiders offensive line, and it is not looking good. Right now, the team is facing a serious crisis as two of their most crucial interior linemen, JPJ and Dylan Parham, are sidelined with injuries that could potentially keep them out for multiple weeks. JPJ has already been placed on injured reserve, which guarantees a minimum of 4 weeks off, and with the severity of his injury, the realistic scenario might even see him sitting out for the rest of the season. For a player of his caliber, who has proven time and time again the impact he can make on the field, this is a devastating blow. Parham, on the other hand, is dealing with an ankle injury that could keep him out for anywhere between 2 and 4 weeks, though nothing has been officially confirmed by the Raiders organization. If both of these players are indeed going to be unavailable, that leaves the team without their starting left and right guards, effectively creating a vacuum in one of the most critical areas of the offense. The ripple effect this has on the offensive line chemistry cannot be overstated. When you look at the remaining lineup, names like Stone Forsythe, Will Putnam, Jordan Meredith, Alex Kappa, and DJ Glaze start to emerge as the potential replacements, and to be honest, it is far from inspiring confidence. The current group has been described by many analysts and insiders as one of the weakest starting offensive lines in the entire National Football League. Add Brennan Carroll to the mix, and the challenges only multiply. The reality is that this lineup will face an uphill battle against some of the league's premier pass rushers and defensive linemen, and that is exactly what makes this situation so dire for the Silver and Black. With the team preparing for matchups against top-tier defensive talent, the pressure on the coaching staff and the remaining offensive players is immense. The confidence scale for this line might be hovering around a 1 out of 10, and even that feels generous. The options for replacements inside the team are limited but not non-existent. Among the names that are being considered, there are 3 in particular who could step into more prominent roles. Lockett's, coming from the International Pathway Program, might not have the experience necessary for consistent NFL snaps yet, but the potential for growth and contribution is there. Caleb Rogers, a third-round draft pick out of Texas Tech, is another promising option. Despite being drafted relatively high, there's been some skepticism about his readiness, but the current injury situation may force the team to test him in real-game scenarios and evaluate his capacity to contribute under pressure. Charles Grant, who has experience playing tackle at William and Mary, could also be a flexible option, capable of lining up at either left or right tackle, depending on the specific game plan and matchups. Deploying Grant strategically could allow the Raiders to maximize the remaining depth on the line, while also providing younger players like DJ Glaze an opportunity to adjust to the right position that suits them best, whether that is guard or tackle. In addition to internal adjustments, free agency is being looked at as a potential lifeline for the Raiders. Names like Nate Davis, Mark Lewinsky, and Shaq Mason have been floated as realistic targets. Davis, known for his strength and interior presence, could provide immediate reinforcement. Lewinsky brings previous experience within the NFL and familiarity with some of the current personnel, which could ease his integration into the team. Shaq Mason stands out as perhaps the most impactful available lineman, with years of experience and a consistent track record of durability and performance at right guard. Incorporating any of these players would not only strengthen the offensive line immediately, but also provide valuable insurance against further injuries. The urgency for the Raiders to address this situation cannot be overstated. Evaluating talent is one thing, but when injuries start to expose gaps in critical positions like the offensive line, decisions need to be made decisively. The coaching staff, including Brennan Carroll, along with the general management, has a tough balancing act ahead, developing young talent like Rogers and Grant while also potentially bringing in experienced free agents who can stabilize the line and protect the quarterback. The quarterback's health and performance are directly tied to the effectiveness of the offensive line, and any breakdown could have cascading effects on the team's overall performance this season. The Raiders are at a crossroads where the combination of internal promotion and strategic acquisitions might be the only way to salvage their offensive functionality and give their quarterbacks the time they need to make plays. The current state of the Raiders' offensive line also raises important questions about long-term strategy. If injuries continue to mount, or if the replacements fail to perform at the expected level, it could force the organization to reconsider how they evaluate and develop offensive linemen. There is a delicate balance between giving young players game experience and maintaining competitive performance in the league, and this situation highlights just how precarious that balance can be. For fans, it's a stressful moment, but it also presents an opportunity to witness which players step up and which adjustments by the coaching staff can truly make a difference. With the pressure mounting and the challenges piling up, this is an absolutely critical period for the Raiders, and every decision made in the coming weeks could have long-term ramifications for the direction of the franchise. The road ahead is challenging. The matchups against elite defensive fronts are looming, and the offensive line must hold its ground or risk seeing the Raiders' offensive rhythm crumble. This isn't just about protecting the quarterback. It's about sustaining drives, maintaining morale, and giving the team a fighting chance to stay competitive in a demanding league. Every snap matters. Every assignment is critical, and the performance of the line will be under intense scrutiny from fans, media, and opponents alike. It is a test not just of talent, but of resilience, strategy, and adaptability under pressure. And for Raiders Nation, it's a moment to watch closely, debate passionately, and hope for the best from the team as they navigate this turbulent stretch of the season. The way the team manages this crisis could define the season. Will the young internal options rise to the occasion? Or will free agency moves be necessary to stabilize the line? The answers are unfolding in real time, and the decisions made by the coaches, the front office, and the players themselves will determine whether the Raiders can overcome these setbacks or if the offensive struggles will define their campaign. Fans should be prepared for a roller coaster of performance, as the remaining linemen, the backups, and any new additions will need to adapt quickly, communicate flawlessly, and execute under immense pressure. The Raiders' offensive line situation is a living test of depth, strategy, and perseverance, and every game from this point forward will serve as a clear indicator of how the team responds to adversity and whether they can maintain competitiveness in the face of significant challenges. This entire situation also shines a spotlight on player development and scouting decisions. When injuries force the team to rely on less proven players, the results on the field offer immediate insights into the accuracy of past evaluations. Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant, drafted with the expectation of contributing in the near future, will be under intense observation. Their performance will not only impact the immediate outcomes of games, but will also influence future personnel decisions and draft strategies. The coaching staff must balance the urgency of winning now with the necessity of nurturing talent for sustainable success, which adds a layer of complexity to every decision about starting lineups and positional shifts. Fans will be scrutinizing each play, each block, and each adjustment, knowing that the Raiders' success hinges on a unit that is both inexperienced and suddenly thrust into a spotlight they might not have been ready for. Now, moving forward, the Raiders' offensive line situation becomes even more complicated when you consider the matchups they're facing over the next few weeks. The combination of youth, inexperience, and depth issues makes every snap a critical moment, and the coaching staff will need to get creative with rotations, alignments, and assignments to give their offense a fighting chance. Players like Lockett's, who come from the International Pathway program, may get a glimpse of real game action. And while he is still raw and untested at the professional level, the potential is there for him to surprise fans and provide some stability in the interior line. Meanwhile, Caleb Rogers, drafted in the 3rd round, is finally getting the opportunity to showcase the talent that earned him a high draft pick. There is no room for gradual development this season. The Raiders are being forced to accelerate the timeline for these younger players, which is both an exciting and nerve-wracking prospect for the organization and its fan base. Charles Grant's flexibility could prove vital as well. Whether he lines up at left tackle, right tackle, or even shifts inside, depending on matchups, his versatility gives the coaching staff more options to mask weaknesses and protect the quarterback. Grant has the frame, athleticism, and experience to handle multiple roles, And with the pressure mounting on the offensive line, his ability to adapt may be one of the few factors that can keep the unit from completely unraveling. DJ Glaze's future could also shift depending on these adjustments. Though initially slotted as a tackle, moving him to guard may not only better suit his skills, but also strengthen the line as a whole. These positional changes are essential for maximizing the potential of the current roster and ensuring the team can remain competitive despite losing key starters. Free agency remains another critical avenue. Nate Davis, with his experience and size, could bring immediate impact to the interior line. He offers the Raiders a veteran presence capable of handling high-pressure situations and complex defensive schemes. Mark Lewinsky, with familiarity in the league and previous relationships with some of the current personnel, could integrate more seamlessly than a completely new acquisition, providing both performance and cohesion. Shaq Mason stands out as a particularly intriguing option. Over a decade in the league, more than 147 career starts, and consistent play at right guard make him an ideal candidate to stabilize the line. While none of these free agents are a guaranteed solution, adding one or more could provide a much-needed bridge between the younger, untested players and the high expectations of the team's coaching staff. The urgency to make these adjustments cannot be overstated. The Raiders' offensive scheme relies heavily on time in the pocket, precise timing, and protection for their quarterbacks. Every missed block, every breakdown in communication could have a cascading effect on both the passing and running game. With JPJ and Dylan Parham out, the interior is vulnerable, the edges are exposed, and the remaining linemen will need to perform at a level far beyond what they have shown so far this season. The pressure to adapt, to execute flawlessly, and to maintain focus for every snap is immense. For fans watching, it is a moment of anticipation and anxiety, but also an opportunity to see resilience, determination, and unexpected breakthroughs from players who have previously been in supporting roles. Strategically, this situation also tests the Raiders' coaching staff in unprecedented ways. Brennan Carroll and the offensive line coaches must prepare game plans that minimize exposure to elite pass rushers while creating lanes for the running game. They need to communicate complex adjustments to players who may not have had extensive NFL experience, all while managing the physical and mental strain of a condensed schedule. The challenge is not just tactical, but also psychological, as maintaining morale and confidence in the offensive line will be critical to sustaining offensive output. The ability to rotate players effectively, mask inexperience, and find creative solutions for protection is now as important as any play calling or design. From a broader perspective, this situation also underscores the importance of depth, scouting, and player development in building a resilient team. The Raiders' reliance on young talent like Rodgers and Grant, and even Lockett's, is a testament to their long-term planning. But injuries force the organization to act immediately and make tough decisions under pressure. Every game becomes a test, not just of talent, but of preparation, adaptability, and decision-making under duress. For the front office, evaluating which free agents to pursue, which internal players to promote, and how to structure the line for both short-term performance and long-term development is a complex puzzle that could define the season's trajectory. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Rumors are swirling across the NFL landscape after what insiders are calling one of Patrick Mahomes' most fiery outbursts in recent memory. The usually composed Kansas City Chiefs quarterback reportedly launched a series of pointed remarks aimed squarely at the Las Vegas Raiders. And it didn't come cheap, in more ways than one. Sources close to the team say tensions have been simmering for weeks, but Mahomes' latest comments set the football world ablaze. During a post-game exchange that was supposed to be routine, Mahomes allegedly took direct shots at the Raiders' defensive line and even hinted that their recent performances were more talk than tackle. Eyewitnesses claim his tone wasn't playful. It was personal. Within hours, social media erupted with clips, reactions, and hot takes. Raiders players didn't take long to respond, and what began as a few sharp words quickly escalated into a full-blown online feud. What's behind the sudden hostility? Some insiders believe Mahomes felt targeted by repeated late hits and taunts during the matchup, while others say this was his way of defending teammates who have been disrespected on the field. Whatever the reason, the league's most recognizable quarterback has found himself at the center of a storm that refuses to quiet down. The Raiders' locker room, according to team reporters, is buzzing with anger. Several players reportedly vowed that Mahomes won't forget the next one, hinting that future encounters could be anything but friendly. Coaches on both sides are said to be working behind the scenes to cool tempers, but the damage may already be done. Analysts are divided. Some see Mahomes' reaction as the raw emotion of a fierce competitor, others as an unnecessary flare-up from someone who should know the power of his platform. Either way, one thing's for sure. The next time the Chiefs and Raiders share a field, it won't just be another AFC West showdown. It'll be personal, electric, and possibly explosive. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.